Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Muse Tarot by Chris Ann. Websites are in that gray box with her picture there at the bottom. Chris-Ann with an E.com or themusetarot.com. Feel free to freeze frame if you want to write those down or check those out, of course. Supportive Oracle cards. Wisdom of the Hidden Realms Oracle cards by Colette Baron Reed. On the back of the book. In the same paragraph with Colette's picture, you can see ColetteBaronReed.com at the bottom. There's a couple other websites if you want to freeze frame and check those out. Also, about the illustrator, Jenna. Here's some information about that person. I'll move it slowly if you want to freeze frame as necessary, and then there's some websites at the bottom there if you want to check those out, of course. Okay, what do we have for Capricorn? There's a lot of energy. So I'm assuming that's going to be good, but there's a lot of energy. Okay, so we get that. A lot of energy. Ooh. Oh. Flip it. Okay, I'll flip it. Ooh, information. We like that. There's some stress. Although when I feel Capricorn energy, it's kind of like that's almost in the sense of like, well, there should be some stress. I don't know if that makes sense. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But it's like if the operation or the situation has no stress the whole way, I feel like it's hard to believe in it. But if I have to work for it a little bit, and I have to work through it a little bit, and I have to form it a little bit, and make something out of it, and there is a bit of stress with it, I feel like I have more confidence with it, and I'm like, I worked for it, I put it together where it needed to go, I did what I needed to do, I overcame these things, and that's why I know it will stay where it's supposed to stay. So maybe, for this reading at least, that's not bad, that there's some stress there. I understand that not all stress is good stress, but I do get like a conflicting stress. Like, it's not a fun stress. It's not the worst, it's not the most overbearing, but it's not the fun type of stress. But there is something like that there, just to be fair. Because I see, like, I'm looking at a situation and I'm not moving forward yet. You do seem to have the information behind you. Is this something that what is this? Can we get a little bit more about that? This is information you have behind you. Is it just a start or is it developed? That's kind of what I'm wondering. Because you got the Seven of Pentacles there, which is kind of like a not the right time feeling. Six of Swords reversed, and the Sun card, even though it's reversed, the Sun card showing up either way is a positive connection. This may be not the first time you've had a chance to move forward with this situation, but the last time it came around, you decided to let it pass by. In fact, there's something here for you. Maybe you didn't think it would come around again for you. So when you let it pass by last time, you kind of made peace with that. Kind of like, no, it went, and I understand that, and I accepted that. Now it's coming around again, whatever this is. Now this could be anything from a business opportunity to a relationship, whatever you got going on for you there. You blocked it in the past. I feel like you chose to not do it. I'm going to say that even like when people default out and default by not acting, that's still a choice. So just in case, it's kind of like if you're looking back and you're like, well, this situation, I just didn't make a choice. By not making a choice, it's a passive choice, but it's still a choice. I'm just going to go there with that. So the reason you passed it up because you didn't think the timing was right, and that's your business. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. Although that did happen, it may also have been something that has kind of taken up some real estate in your brain. I like that term lately. It just kind of toddles around every once in a while. Maybe you allow the thought for a little bit and then you kind of move on from it. But once in a while it just kind of toddles back in and this little thought shows up. And you're like, that. I chose to let that go though, so I made peace with that. I feel like when it toddles in, I acknowledge it, but I'm like, and I chose to move on from it, so I let it go. But every now and then it just kind of toddles back in again. Nothing wrong so far. The opportunity is coming in again. The question is, are you going to take it this time? there's a lot coming in all at once. Now, I feel like this is true Capricorn energy, and y'all will let me know, I'm sure, if I'm wrong. Y'all don't jump just because something shows up. They're not, Capricorn is just not the, oh, here, jump how high thing. No. Or as I heard, I think, what was it? I don't know what show I heard it on. When I say jump, you say on who? I don't know. I thought that was funny. It was just funny. Capricorns aren't the jump type. They're like, an opportunity shows up, and it's kind of like, I'll think about it. Capricorns aren't like, oh, just because it's here, I'm going to run out the door. It's like, if the ice cream truck starts coming down your street and you never expected that to even show up in your neighborhood, you're not going to run out there to get an ice cream even if you want one. You're like, why is that coming down my street? I don't know. They probably, I'll think about it. If they keep showing up, maybe I'll come around. You're waiting. Whatever this is, an opportunity shows up again to get what you passed up in the past, and you're considering letting it pass by again. You're not moving on it. Not a bad thing. Still not bad. That is still not bad. Because I feel like there's a moment here. If we're going to use the ice cream truck analogy, maybe this is the first day it showed up, but it's going to keep coming around for a couple months. Argument's sake. Just for argument's sake. Analogy and all that good stuff. So you don't have to go right off the bat. You're not going to... If it comes and goes that quickly, I feel like Capricorn would probably be like, well, if it was that much of a flash in the pan, it can flash away, because that's not how I work. But what it is, it's coming. Something is coming around again, and I feel like I'm not saying you have to take anything. I feel like Capricorn is completely well aware you don't have to do anything you don't want to. Like people have that saying, I know, but whatever. Except for death and taxes, but then again, you have people who have evade taxes, and then again, if you even want to argue with the death thing, when you cross over to the other side, you didn't really die, you just changed. So, and we change all the time. So I don't know why I'm going there, but like, you don't have to do anything you don't want to. But this opportunity is meant to come around to you to get again. This is an opportunity for you. It is for you to choose. If you choose to let it go, you have every right to let that go. But it's coming forward with purpose. This coming around again is because it's meant for you. Doesn't mean you have to do anything. If you don't want it, then you don't want it. But it's coming around. I feel like this is coming around more as a gift. Which, it's funny, because I'm like, whatever this is, it's going to take a lot of work. It's a gift as in the opportunity. It's not just going to make itself happen. It's the gift as in the opportunity. Like, I don't know, if you want a certain type of car, I guess, that rare car is going to show up again and you're going to be able to get it. You're going to have to put the money down on it and put the work into fixing it. But that opportunity is there. That's the gift part, the opportunity. What you do with it, totally your business. Because you're the gift to the gift, because your connection to the gift makes it successful. We're going to say I didn't make that confusing, but maybe I did. What's coming forward here? That's the... Where did I see the stress? I keep feeling like there's stress here, but... Going forward, it's coming around again, whatever it is. You have some time to decide, but I'm just saying, when it shows up, allow yourself to play with the thought. It's just a thought. I do feel like in natural Capricorn energy, if we're going to use the ice cream truck analogy, the truck shows up one day. Maybe it shows up in the middle of the week, and it's kind of like, that's odd. It feels out of place. And you're like, well, and you're like, I'm not going to let myself think about that. It just randomly showed up. It's not like it's going to show up again. I'm not going to let myself think about that. Then it shows up Thursday, and you're like, we'll see. Friday. And then it doesn't show up on the weekend. We're just going to say it doesn't. Saturday, Sunday, nothing. You're like, Monday shows up and you're like, it's not here. Didn't show up. And then an hour after it was supposed to show up, it does show up. And you're like, oh, it is still showing up. It's late, but it's still there. Tuesday shows up again. You're like, okay, Whatever point, just at some point, allow yourself to consider it. At some point, when you feel appropriate, kind of like, maybe it'll be around for a while. Maybe it'll be around all summer. I'll let myself think about it. Just, you have to give yourself permission to think about it. If you don't, nothing's going to happen. If you do, it doesn't guarantee anything's going to happen either. But if you want this opportunity, you have to at least let yourself consider it. The Ace of Pentacles is showing up with the Queen of Swords. I don't see the Queen of Swords as a negative energy. Some people do. I know that some people read it that way. I don't. I see this as sometimes an energy that kind of looks at it for like, what's the truth? I need facts. Show me facts. I'm not going to play little pretty games here. We're not going to talk all nicey-nicey. I need facts. Show me facts. I can only do something with facts. Sometimes I see her as that. She also can be very eloquent and very kind if she decides it's deserving. That's a whole other story. I don't know. I'm just throwing that in there for fun, I guess. But maybe I'm not throwing it in there for fun. They're saying you have the ability to be kind to yourself. Allow yourself to want something. Allow yourself to give something a thought. Be nice to yourself about it. I don't know. For some of you, I feel like you need that. Like, just be nice to yourself, whatever that means. Because if you give this fair thought, you may realize that this Ace of Pentacles can be yours. And then if you decide, you know what, I would like that Ace of Pentacles this time, but should I really move forward towards it? There is some self-doubt here. You got the Desert Prince hiding the Diamond Dreamer, which is telling me there is truth here, but you're having a hard time believing it. You may have a hard time believing that you can have it this time. Maybe last time it came around, I was a different person, or this was different, or that was different, and maybe last time around I really had a chance with it. I don't know if I don't know if my situation is the same as before. Even if I try for it, I'm not who I was. Who I was could have done it. Who I am, I'm not quite sure. You can do it. You definitely can do it. Giving yourself a chance and researching it and just walking into the situation and giving it a chance and finding out what you need to know. Finding out what you need to know. Because there is support around this situation. The Emperor and the Nine of Wands, Nine of Fire, Nine of Inspiration on this deck. There is support here. It reminds me of somebody who, it's like, how do I express this? I like cooking analogies, so I'll do this. So, if you use the analogy of a dinner, this is somebody who would help you do your portion of the dinner and bring up your energy and help you achieve your portion of the dinner, but when you get to that pinnacle, you're in charge of maybe the appetizers, and maybe they do the dessert. You work with each other, you support each other, you help each other learn and make sure each other succeeds, but you're also very self-sufficient and you have your own thing that you have to succeed with. I hope that makes sense. Because it's like somebody's here to support you and help you grow and develop, but it's very much, it's like working together and working alone at the same time. It feels to me like the dinner analogy is the best one I can get, that I can think of off the top of my head. It's kind of like if you're all working at the same dinner, so it's all one dinner, but you're in control of the appetizer, they're in control of the dessert, and you help each other develop. You make sure each other has what they need, but you also both have to do your own thing. It's like when it comes time to make the appetizer, you got to make it. You got to pull it together. They helped with the research and the gathering of resources maybe, and making sure you had what you needed where you needed to be. But when it comes to actually doing it, you're the one who actually does it. Vice versa for them as well. You do the same role for them. When it comes to actually making the dessert, it's on them to actually do it, but you help them pull together all like the research to what should be done, how it should be done, what needs to be there for it to be done. It's something like that. It's a very complementary, but also I don't know, you work together and separately. It's very, I don't know if I'm making sense with that. I hope I did. Wherever this goes next, it is the Ace of Pentacles that it starts off with. Very compatible for Earth. It's an Earth card. Things don't jump off at a run. You work yourself up to it. Using yet another analogy, it's like if you want to start running. If you've never run before or you haven't run in years, you don't just start running at 4 miles. Unless you want your body to hate you and probably have a lot of serious... You could end up with serious injuries, just to be fair. What you do is typically, I would say... You decide where you want to run, you start walking a mile a day. After 4 or 5 days, I would say, the way I would do it is I'd maybe add a half a mile. And every 4 to 5 days, I'd add another half a mile until I got up to the distance. And then after I got the distance down with walking, at least this is how I did it. I'm not saying it's the right way, I'm just saying this is how I did it years ago. I then start adding in the running part in pieces. Like I ran probably like a quarter mile, and then I think the way I did it actually, I ran a quarter mile, walked 3/4 mile, ran a quarter mile. Like I started adding in the running part. Does that make sense? I just added it in slowly. That's how this is going to build. I feel like you already knew that, but maybe I just needed to explain that for my own happiness. This is going to end up with the Ten of Pentacles. That's something very solid, something that's yours. This is what you want, is what I'm getting. I feel like the universe is trying to bring something back around that you actually do want, and they're like, it's completely fine that you didn't want it the first time around, and you didn't have to have it, but you deserve this happiness. So here's another opportunity. If you decide you want it, you may have it. And the universe is behind you on that. This is something you're going to keep, and probably keep for the rest of your life, for the rest of this incarnation at least. Are we good? I think we're good. I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.